It may be reasonable to assume that Kayleigh McEnany's relationship with Donald Trump contributed significantly to the unfortunate events that followed her departure from the White House. During Trump's first term in office, McEnany served as the press secretary 4 times, and she was very complimentary of the controversial politician. Having said that, she did not always support Trump, and her prior criticism of the president did not exactly help her when she was on camera. Some may be surprised to learn that McEnany once called Donald Trump a racist, according to CNN, in reaction to his racist comments about Mexican immigrants before his 2016 campaign began. Further accusations were leveled by McEnany, who claimed the politician might be a Republican. A racist statement is, in my view, a racist statement. At that moment, she declared, I do not like what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump has shown himself to be a showman. I don't think he is a serious candidate. Only a year later, in 2016, McEnany was rooting for the divisive politician to win the election. This unexpected change in fortunes echoed the tumultuous relationship between then Vice President J.D. Vance and then President Trump. According to McEnany, CNN brainwashed her into criticizing the president in the first place. But she did say that her feelings about the president evolved over time. Her habit of hopping around from position to position certainly did not help her perform her duties as press secretary for Trump. On multiple occasions, reporters peppered McEnany with questions. Because the reporters at the press briefing in October 2020 didn't seem to believe her, she seemed to lose her temper with them. She appeared to grow increasingly irritated by their incessant questioning regarding Trump's stance on white supremacy. In spite of her repeated assertions that the president had denounced it, reporters persisted in asking McEnany questions that were remarkably similar to those she had already answered. Publication of For Such a Time as This, McEnany's autobiography, further cast doubt on her veracity. The fact that the ex-press secretary contradicted herself in the book was revealed by The Guardian. Despite Kayleigh McEnany's undying devotion to the twice-elected president of the U.S., Donald Trump, he bestowed upon her one of his dreadful nicknames. The Trump administration's first term came to a close, and McEnany found work at Fox News. But she angered the ex-president in 2023 when, in his opinion, she read inaccurate poll numbers on the same show. According to McEnany, who informed the audience, Trump had a 25-point lead over fellow presidential candidate Ron DeSantis. An irate Trump used his social media site, Truth Social, to inform the public that he was, in fact, 34 points ahead of DeSantis in the race. Incorrect polling data was just provided to Fox News by Kayleigh "Milquetoast" McEnany. Trump reportedly stated, I am 34 points up on DeSanctimonious, not 25 points up. In a letter he sent via X, the year 25 is fantastic, but it is not 34. It was no secret to her that the polling organization had inflated the results. She is available to the rhinos and the globalists. Only real celebrities should Fox News ever use. Presumably, Trump had McEnany in mind when he used the adjective milquetoast, which Merriam-Webster defines as timid, meek, or unassertive as a person. Considering that milquetoast is a word for a breakfast dish, it's quite unlikely that Trump meant to say this about McEnany. The president's accusation that you were a weakling must have hurt like hell. Former Trump press secretary Stephanie Grisham warned McEnany in a stern message that the animosity she had experienced from her former boss should not have been shocking in light of Trump's decision to turn against McEnany. For the simple reason that he will betray you. There is only loyalty to him, not the country, the Constitution, his constituents, or anything whatsoever or anyone else, Grisham wrote on X, formerly Twitter. Many on the internet assumed that McEnany would keep supporting Trump even after he openly displayed his disdain for her, even though she never addressed the jab in public. Similar to numerous close associates of Donald Trump, Kayleigh McEnany has engaged in dubious activities. But a lot of people have been saying that the former press secretary of Trump is a renowned liar. Everyone has been saying this about her. This was stated to the public by Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former White House communications director, in her testimony about the January 6th revolt. Kayleigh is a liar and an opportunist, Griffin claimed in an interview with the January 6th committee. According to HuffPost, that woman is incredibly competent. Harvard Law School is where she earned her J.D. She knew we were defeated in the election, but she still managed to stay in Trump's good graces because her calculations indicated she wanted a certain life after he was in office. Even more important to her than being forthright with American citizens was that. Also, while running for president in 2020, McEnany was in hot water for unlawfully endorsing Trump. She couldn't participate in any form of campaigning for her boss since she was a White House official during that time. She still proceeded with it anyhow. There were doubts about the veracity of McEnany's testimony before the January 6 committee as well. According to the committee's findings, McEnany's testimony was not as honest as her press office staffs, who testified about her statements. The committee also noted that McEnany's responses were evasive via The Guardian. Among the committee's conclusions was this. In a 2020 public opinion piece published by Fox News, Kayleigh McEnany discussed her many health problems alongside her numerous political problems, which she had been coping with. After learning she carried the BRCA2 gene for 9 long years, McEnany had a double mastectomy in 2018. She spoke about her experience with the procedure. An increased risk of breast cancer is associated with this specific mutation, according to the Johns Hopkins Medicine. Those who inherit this gene have a 45 to 85% higher chance of developing breast cancer. Furthermore, those have a 10% to 46% higher chance of getting ovarian cancer. It is common practice to advise these patients to get a preventative mastectomy to lower their extremely high cancer risk. Having researched the high risk of cancer, McEnany decided to undergo a preventative double mastectomy at the age of 31. Even though it was a terrifying ordeal for her and her family, McEnany said that the joy she felt from knowing she had greatly reduced her chance of getting cancer made it everything. A tremendous weight was lifted off my shoulders. The fact that she had breast cancer was no longer an issue for her, she stated in her letter. I had gone from creeping worry to peaceful tranquility.